If you aren't aware, the UK is potentially getting a huge new theme park by 2030, that being known as Universal Studios Great Britain, or something along those lines. The famous Universal parks that you see all over the world in the States and over in Asia, with that insane theming and those world-class rides that we all know and love, one of those parks is finally making its way over to Europe, specifically in Bedford, England. One of the places of all time. Talks are very much underway for it and it's all looking very likely. But what we have no clue about right now, other than the fact we don't actually know if it's happening 100% or not, is if it does happen, what rides and roller coasters will we see at this park? And it's quite an interesting discussion because we're going to consider rides that they built at other parks and also some new ones that they could build here in Bedford. So be sure to watch till the end to see all of my ideas, because some of them, if they happen, God, I'm walking in that park and never leaving. And if you do go on to enjoy this video and you aren't already, then please be sure to subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. So then, as I used to do a lot more than I do now, I think this video suits the start being another history lesson. Although this time we're sort of talking about the history of something that's not even happened yet. I don't really know how that makes sense, but pretty much Universal were looking to expand to a park in Europe, as you'd want to. There's a Disneyland in Europe. Can you imagine if we then got a Disneyland after Universal in the UK? Let me stop yapping for a second. There were rumours about them buying an already established theme park in Europe, so most likely Portaventura, that was named, and they would take that park and put their own spin on it and sort of work their way from there. But they've clearly changed their approach to a new park in Europe, because it then came out that they were actually planning to build a brand new theme park from scratch in Bedford, England, because they found an absolutely massive plot of land there, and it's very good with the sort of transportation links, and well, it's just huge. They've had consultations with the locals, they've talked with the government, and they've even bought houses from people because they are on the site. If they turn back from this, that is big stupid. One interesting thing is there's been a lot of delays recently with this project actually being announced or anything. I think certain parts of it have been put on hold for about 12 weeks or so we won't see any announcements of it right now, especially because they're literally building another theme park in Florida, so they probably want to prioritize that first. But if it is still happening, next year, I think we will see an official announcement. But whether or not we're getting that announcement next year, whether or not it happens tomorrow, I don't care, because that will never stop the speculation train, aka me. I love to read too deep into things, and I'm going to do the exact same for this entire park, so be sure to buckle your restraints and pull down your seat belts, because the speculation king is here. Hello, I am the speculation king. I am the one you need to be. And here we are then, we have a map of where it's going to be. Let me just draw out where it's actually going. Oh, part of it's cut out. Ignoring the part that's cut off at the bottom, they have this entire bit here, all the way up until this road, and then they come back down. I think they even have a bit of this lake here, all the way down, and then this section down here too. They have a lot of area they can work with. Almost too much, I would say. And earlier I mentioned the good transportation links, and I don't really talk about transport much on this channel, but 10 seconds of it won't hurt. I don't really know too much about trains, but there is a Marsden Vale line that runs right here. You could just see the logo I covered over, and that runs all the way up there, so it has a station right here, right next to the bloody park. And over here is the Thameslink line, which runs right down here. That goes to like Bedford and Luton Airport, London obviously. But look at these trains and how close they run to the park. Maybe I'm going to turn into a train enthusiast now. But either way, they have a massive chunk of land to build this park in, and to sort of design where we're going with this. I don't really know whether it would start down there or start up here. I might just do it on a clean canvas. So as you may know if you've watched this channel for a while, I'm absolutely insane at graphic design. So if anyone at Universal is watching this and they're building the park currently and need a map, feel free to take mine. If you've never visited a Universal park before, at pretty much all of them, before you enter the park, there is an area called City Walk. And this has a massive range of different shops, food outlets, restaurants, and bars too. When they build it here, if there isn't a Nando's, Wetherspoons, or Greg's in it, they're doing something wrong. So my idea would be, I'm going to sort of do it on a diagonal because I feel like I might do it wrong. I'm going to get this wrong anyway, oh well. I think City Walk will be sort of in a corner over here, and you'll have like loads of different restaurants and stuff. As you can see, graphic design It's coming through right now. So yeah, as you can see, you've got City Walk here. I've just put the 3 that I said because no idea what else they put in there. But they did say in the sort of documentation they were going to bring 4 of their own restaurants over for us to have in City Walk. So imagine them there. I've put my favourite shop in the world, DigitalDan, in Bedford City Walk. But either way, we continue on down. There'd be like loads of shops and all that sort of stuff there. But we now get to the point that we actually want to talk about, not just restaurants and transport. What will the theme park itself look like? Now, I reckon at the end of City Walk, we're going to see a plaza area for the main entrance, sort of like just a wider space to enter the park in. How can we identify an entrance? Let me do this. Hang on. There we go. That's how you do your entrance. Universal theme park right there. Totally not taken from Alton Towers. And it won't have a corkscrew, but that will be your entrance area. Then we're going to take a lovely, let's do a cyan green, because that's a colour. We're going to take the path a little bit further down, because I do know that studios and stuff like that like to have a little bit of a main street. Although that's a Disney thing. Have a nice entrance with like a main park gift shop or maybe a cafe or something, because they didn't have enough of that in bloody City Walk. But now we get to the most exciting part. If you're unaware, Epic Universe over in Florida, when that opens, it's going to have a main central hub called Celestial Park. And it's pretty much how you build a Planet Coaster park. Whenever you jump on that game, you build a massive center ring and you just branch out and do your different areas from there. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a massive circle here, and that is going to be your main plaza area. Probably with more shops and more cafes as well. But as much as it won't be the exact same, the Celestial Park animations that we've seen and how it's already coming together in real life, it just looks so nice as a main entrance. Oh, I'd dream of having that in Bedford. Please bring it over. But with that main entrance now sorted and the plaza where we can go out to the different areas, what now? There was one thing rumoured for the Universal Bedford land, and that is the acquired IP of the Lord of the Rings. Not that I've seen too much of the movies, but to see some of the landscapes that you see in them and sort of the castles and the big tower with fire eye. Why does the Eye of Sauron just look like the Nemesis creature? And to be the first area they've done with that IP, I think they could do a very cool area and a very cool dark ride. So I'm going to branch it off here. Again, this might be completely wrong, and it probably is. And I'm starting to put it as sort of like a warehousey, boxy environment, because I think this is going to be a world-class, cutting-edge technological dark ride. A lot like the ones we might see come to Epic Universe, because I haven't talked about that theme park enough. Either of those sort of systems, not that we know what they are, give that a Lord of the Rings theme and sort of change up the layout and the things that happen on ride, and that is a world-class dark ride that people from America would probably travel over to see. And they could travel over really easily using the Thameslink network. I would love to see that. And I've not even watched all of the Lord of the Rings films. And dark rides aside, let's talk about a big roller coaster that this place could potentially get. And that is a ride very much like Velocicoaster, because I'm talking about a Jurassic Park area, or Jurassic World, whatever you fancy. Pretty much in every Universal park, they have a Jurassic Park themed area. I think it's a given that it would happen here. Velocicoaster, could we see that come over? I don't think we would, because enough Brits go over to Orlando anyway, so they wouldn't want to just stick it here, because there's no excuse to go. Flying Dinosaur, which is a B&M flying coaster over in Universal Studios Japan, that looks incredible. Look at this one drop and sort of inversion. What the hell is happening? I think that would be my choice for that area, although if they gave us another coaster with the Jurassic Park theme, more than happy with that. So I'm going to stick that area up here. Again, this is probably completely wrong, but I think the Jurassic Park area would be massive, so we'll give it that amount of space. And if you take one of the coasters that I said about, then surely there's space for a water ride as well, despite the fact in Britain it's about 10 degrees all the time, so you might not want to ride it all the time. And I think it'd be nice to see the Jurassic Park River Rapids from Universal Singapore come over, because I mean, that looks cool, but that would be a massive area, as Jurassic Park should be, because it's a huge franchise. And along with Jurassic Park, I'm very indecisive, so I'm just going to put something in as a maybe, and that is the Decepticoaster. It is literally the Incredible Hulk that's in Florida, but a different theme, because it's Transformers, and I feel like it looks different enough to be seen as a different ride. I don't know. As I said, it's a maybe, so we'll just move on. I do think over in like a separate area, maybe over here or on the left or down the bottom somewhere, there could be a show, stunt show type thing, themed to something us Brits love for some reason, James Bond. Maybe even like a shooter dark ride, sort of like spy, bang, bang, bang. Whatever it is, I think James Bond will be somewhere in the Universal Bedford Park. Again, if it happens. This all just comes back to if it actually gets agreed or not. And Universal recently seemed to love doing kids areas themed to like DreamWorks animations, so probably somewhere down here would be that. And lo and behold, Wallace and Gromit and the Curse of the Were-Rabbit was made by DreamWorks and flushed away. Give us that as an area. Now, there are a few maybes that I would like to go through. Nintendo World, I know that's over in Hollywood and Japan and soon to be Florida. I don't think Nintendo World would happen straight away in Bedford. A lot of the parks have something like Revenge of the Mummy. I don't think that would happen either. And there's also the recent IP of Fast and Furious, which I pray to God does not come to Bedford. And there is one IP that I haven't mentioned yet on this map that definitely should be in the British Universal, but they do have a studio tour about this IP very close by. But I'm not too sure if it would happen or not, but I'm going to put it down anyway. Harry Potter, of course, literally based in Britain with English actors. We're going to stick it over here, and I think for this one, it's going to be huge, and they're going to create some brand new areas for it because they've seen Diagon Alley, there's Hogsmeade, there's now Ministry of Magic as well. I think we could definitely see some sort of big roller coaster like they did with Hagrid's, but completely different over here. It could be a controlled spinning coaster, or not exactly the intensity of Ride to Happiness, but that's just a reference image. And if the Bond Dark Ride isn't actually a shooter one, then they could easily put it here, but with wands. So I'm going to put a Dual Blaster there to sort of symbolise that. And that is a lot of the main IPs that I think Universal Bedford would have now covered. But now I'm going to draw an orange line over to here and make a huge area right there. Probably would be a bit closer, but it's not right now. And what I'm going to put here is a big question mark. That was actually quite a good question mark, because I want you guys to comment down below what you think could be in that area. Because if we reach 1,000 likes and I do go and see the site that this is going to be built on, then whilst I'm there, I'm going to read out a few of your comments and ideas and talk about that potential big area. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that when that comes out in the future. Thank you very much for watching.